Welcome back to my channel. My name is David, in case you're new here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you 3 DIYs where you can turn trash into cash. So the first DIY I'm showing you is just taking any old liquor bottle. It could be any bottle of any kind. Just take off the paper. I just showed you how to do it. Just rub some water over it, throw the paper away. Take off the plastic cap or metal cap, depending on what kind of cap it is. Remove that, and you have yourself an amazing new vessel to work with. And this is what it looks like, all bare and cleaned. And then I styled it over here. This could be a vase. This could be whatever you want it to be. You could also spray paint this if you wanted, whatever you want to do with it. But I left it because I really like the brown. So I planned on doing extra stuff to this bottle, however I really enjoyed the shape of it and just the simple color, this amber glass, this dark amber glass I should say, brown bottle basically. I think that it's really pretty on its own, and you can just put some water in here and some florals and you have yourself a vase. That's how simple trash can be upcycled. Here's another bottle. This was one I did a while back. I loved the shape of this bottle. Let me just kind of show you real quick. See how it like tapers down? It's like kind of bigger up here and tapers down. This was actually an olive oil bottle. I thought it was just so pretty. Definitely looks like a high-end vase or something like that. And again, here's some florals styled in it. You could do the same with any liquor bottle that you really find an attractive shape to it. So just keep that in mind. With that being said, let's move on to DIY number 2. But before we get started, I wanted to mention that I asked these lovely ladies to join me in this adventure of making trash into cash. Be sure to check out what these creators made in their videos and what trash they use. I'll have everyone's channel linked down below in the description box, as well as the little playlist that I put together. And in case you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the like button, as that helps support my channel. Let's get into the next DIY. These are these little plastic globes that kind of go over these like Christmas lights. They're lights that you hang up in your backyard. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I'll insert a picture here. The lights stopped working and I was just gonna throw the whole thing out. Instead of just throwing in the trash, I popped these little globe things off of the string of lights. So now I have a bucket full of these. I wanted to recreate this frosted glass look of these giant like beads. I saw them on this high-end website, about $100, but they are selling a strand of them for about $14, $15 at TJ Maxx, I do believe is where I saw them. I think I saw some at Marshall's as well. So I wanted to recreate them using these and just do my own version. These are plastic, but I figured I could use them and just kind of go from there and see what I need to do. I also have this rope that's from Dollar Tree that I'm hoping to use to string them together. I think the first thing I want to do is try to figure out how to color the inside of these and make them look like a frosted glass. So I was thinking just like mixing some watered down white paint and putting it in here and swirling it around. However, let me show you how that turned out. This is what it looks like and I don't really like it. It is like see-through, so it looks like glass, but you can see where the paint dripped in spots. And I have this weird greenish color in a couple of them. So I'm not really pleased with how that's looking, so I don't know. Let me come up with a solution so that they can look like frosted glass. Okay, so I found this piece of wire, and I think if I just put it in here and move it around and like scratch it up, it kind of gives that effect I'm looking for. At least it moves the paint around. It looks better than what it did. I think I'm gonna do one more layer of the white, watered down like white paint, and see if I can get something else. It does look better. What do you guys think with the scratches? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Like a little squirt, that, and then add some water and swish it around. All right, you can see in there, there's the watered down white paint. So I'll just keep twisting it like this to fully coat it. If it would just look like this, I would be pretty happy and I could do my little scratch marks, but it doesn't dry like this. All of it starts to kind of come down to one point and it puddles up. I just don't know what to do here. So this is a wood burning tool. It gets extremely hot. I just want to like tell you what I'm using. I got this from Joann's a long time ago, and I'm gonna try and use this on the plastic balls. I did go through and scratch up the inside of all of them. Doesn't look the best, but we're just gonna go with it. So I want to pierce a hole on the other side, and also I want to try to remove the bulk of this. So we'll see how this goes, because I'm thinking I could just like press this down, and then this I would just push in here. Oh my gosh. It wasn't even on. Alright, so while that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and cut my string how I want it. I'm going to use several pieces of twine. I might end up using the rope as well. I have about 15 or so of these bulbs that I completed to create a strand of like 15. I do want to tie knots and stuff in between. I think we're going to go with a 4 feet. Well, let's go with a little bit more, 4.5. Just to give us a lot of extra room if I'm tying knots and stuff like that. And I'm just gonna do a couple of these. So I think that looks pretty good. Hopefully it's enough, it's like long enough. So I can smell my heating tool and it smells hot. Basically, I'm just gonna take this and press it down in and kind of turn it. I'm just widening that hole that's there. Okay, I think that looks good. Now I have to figure out how to remove this. And I was thinking like heating up a pan and just like pressing it into the pan so that it melts that. Let's see if I can cut it off first with this piece. Yeah, that's a pretty bead. Okay. In my mind, I thought this was gonna be a lot easier. I don't know. I don't know if I should even keep going. I'm just so annoyed at this point. So after carefully removing that little piece that I just didn't want on the piece of plastic globe, I think everything turned out fairly alright. I'm hoping when I tie the knots, they'll kind of disguise the gross holes. That one looks like it's gonna look horrible. Again, this is gonna be in the trash anyway, so hopefully in the end we don't notice or see these things and it's a beautiful piece. We can only hope, right? So now is the fun part. I got all of them completed. I'm just taking my twine and I'm stringing it through the bead. When I get to the end, I tie a knot. I tie another knot on the other side of the bead and string on another bead. It's pretty simple and self-explanatory from here. Just ignore this footage of me. I'm actually tying the knots on after I strung all the beads on. It's easier for me to do it this way, but if it's easier for you to tie a knot, put the bead on, tie a knot, put the bead on, I recommend doing it that way. Alright, so now I'm just taking some of this rope and I cut a chunk off and then I separated all 4 of the strands. As you can see here, I just untwined it. Now each strand is made up of 5 pieces of twine. So then I can just pull these pieces apart and I'll have a lot of twine to work with. I'm going to be making my tassels with this. Alright, once you got all of your pieces and you're ready to make your tassels, which I like doing it this way because look how pretty the texture is, how the waves are and stuff. I think it's really, really, really pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and split this in half, and then I'll split that in half. How I'm gonna do that is then tie it on to the end of this, like that. So after I secured the new tassels to the end of the old tassels, and then I just wrapped it securely, and this is how it looks. And just to show you what it looks like without the flash on, the flash is really highlighting the weird paint. So here's what it looks like without the flash on. I think that they're like passable. From far away, you wouldn't notice that they're plastic painted, right? Like, they don't look that bad. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Do these pass or no? Is this cashable? Is this trash for cash? I don't know. For this last DIY project for trash to cash, I took this pretzel container that I actually found in the trash. Somebody threw it out and I was like, I could use this and make a cement vase out of it. We'll call it a vase pot because it is pretty large. So my first step was to oil the inside, and I just took some olive oil, put it on a paper towel, and I just smeared this all over in the inside of this container. Once my vessel was greased up, I'm actually going to be taking some concrete. I mixed up just the powder and water. Super simple. And I packed it down at the bottom. This was pretty simple. The hard part is coming up. So after I got the bottom completed, I had to take the concrete and build it up the sides of the walls of this container. And I did it this way just because if you pour concrete in here, it's going to be really, really, really heavy. And I didn't have another like large plastic piece to push down in there, if you know what I mean. So I kind of used more on the dry side of concrete and packed it on the sides of the walls and just built up my vase that way. So about every so often I would just take the straight up concrete powder and just sprinkle it in there so it would absorb the water so that it would kind of dry out a bit faster. It was actually pretty simple. I think the hardest part of doing this project was when I got to the top of the container. It curved inwards and I didn't want the concrete falling in on itself and like caving into the middle of what I'm creating here. So I did keep doing that, but I found that if I just would hold it there for a little bit, take the dry concrete powder and just push it into it, add a little bit at a time, and just work your way very slowly, you can easily do this project. This is what it turned out to look like. I do want to cut this open to peek inside so that it can further dry out. So I have that heating tool and I'm just literally gonna draw like a line down this and see how this works. I'm kind of skeptical, I don't know, but let's go for it. Wow, look at that. And then I can just sand this down so it looks better. There is a little bit of holes and stuff you can see, and then you can see that line that I just did with I burned it. That's why I kind of tried to hide the line down here a bit better under this piece, but I can always take cement and rub it in or sand this down a little bit. Now I have to just go ahead and keep going and get the bottom piece off, and then I can start sanding this down a little bit. Okay, here we go. Okay. So I have lots of little areas, but that's okay. I can just take more cement and kind of rub it into these areas, which I probably will do that just so it looks a bit more smooth, and I'll smooth out the top of it. And wherever I don't like it, like down in here looks pretty bad, I'll just take the cement and push it in. gonna go ahead and finish the rest of this off camera. There is still a little bit of holes, which I kind of like that to add to the like old world rustic feel of the vase. I do need to tackle the top of it still. I do like the design that the plastic left behind. Like it has this, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's this ridge on the top and the bottom that kind of just adds to the piece a little bit. It makes it almost look like a barrel, and someone would definitely buy this. I had some leftover cement, so I found this glass pot and I just put the cement all over it. So once it dries, I'm gonna probably repaint it, probably sand it down because it's really chunky. I don't know, I'll figure it out later. I probably won't show the rest of this pot in this video, so if you want to see the rest of this project, subscribe to my channel so you can see what I end up doing with it. I'll show that in a later video. This one I might show you if it dries in time. So this was just a plastic soap bottle that I had, and I just went ahead and removed the label and everything so you guys could see that I poured the leftover cement inside there. Right now, it's up to here. So I need to put a stick or something in there to get it to go up more, and also create a little hole to make this like a little vase. I think it'll be a really cute cement vase, so let me find something to stick in there, let that dry. So right now I am wet sanding the top of it just to smooth it out. As you can see, I need to do that, and it looks so much better if I do it. So I'm just dipping my fingers in, wetting the top of it like this pretty good. And then I'm using 240 grit sandpaper and lightly going over this edge. I'm also doing the top, the inside a little bit, and then the outside, just like this, in this kind of circular motion. I probably won't do the inside. I just think that's gonna be a lot of work. Scrub, 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 scrub. It definitely doesn't look the best, like shape-wise, but I'm just gonna make it work. The inside is still pretty rough, but it's looking pretty good for, like, you know, a free vase. Just had to buy the cement mix, which I've had. So then I ventured out into the wilderness and made a homemade pot for sale sign and was trying to sell my homemade pot, okay? And here are the results. Oh man. Ugh. Homemade pots for sale. Homemade pots for sale. Homemade pots. Okay. Ugh. I give up. Nobody's wanting to buy my pot. Yeah, I have this pot for sale. It's $200.
You have a dime size?
Let me check. I have a dime size right here.
Oh. Okay.
It's only 10 cents.
I'll pay 10 cents for that one. And we'll take those. I'll pick up my kids in a little bit. I'm buying pot right now. Bye. Bye. Cool.
I know, I get phone calls all the time. So you want this one?
Yeah.
What about my $200 one?
I got $80.
Sold. And that's how you turn trash into cash.
Thank you. Wow. Oh, it's a sturdy pot.
Thank you.
Bye.
And don't forget to check out the playlist I linked down below so you can see what all trash you can turn into cash. Bye.